What's going on, everybody? As you can probably tell from the title, this video is going to be a little bit bittersweet. I was so excited to start a new Radical Red Hardcore mode playthrough when the new 3.0 patch update was announced. Playing the previous 2.3a version, I had been stuck on Brock for days, but after updating to the latest 3.0 patch, I beat Brock first try. So in this video, we're going to be comparing the two versions of the Brock battle to show how much easier it is now after the 3.0 patch. So here we're going to start with the old version, pointing out some things along the way to show how much harder this battle was before the update. Again, both of these battles are hardcore mode, same settings, and I'll be using the same team for both of these battles as well. So here we go with the 2.3 version battle first. We lead with Lombre and Brock leads with Hippopotas. First thing we want to take note of here is the level 14. So we're going to start off strong and fire off the Aurora Beam here. It's not stab, but it is our highest base power move, dealing super effective damage. Hippopotas will also have his attack lowered, but as you can see, he's going to activate the held item, which turns out to be the berry juice. Restoring a whole 20 HP, Hippopotas is then going to take his first turn to set up Stealth Rocks. Already we're starting to see how hard this battle is. The opponent restoring 20 HP from a held item this early in the game is insane. And on top of that, setting up hazards as well. So we're going to continue to try to wear him down, firing off a second Aurora Beam. It's not going to be enough to take him out, but we get him pretty low. Hippopotas is now going to fire back with the Rock Tomb, but this shouldn't do too much damage thanks to the attack drop from the Aurora Beam on the previous turn. Lombre's speed is going to fall from the Rock Tomb, but it's not going to matter anyway because we're going to make a switch out. From previous attempts at this battle, we know that Brock likes to switch out here, which is why in anticipation we're going to make a switch of our own. We go into Charmeleon, who unfortunately takes significant damage from the Stealth Rocks, being weak to Rock type, as Brock sends out Lilith. Now, just to be very clear, I'm not complaining that this battle is hard. I love the challenge. I love that this battle is so hard. What I am complaining about is how easy they made it in the updated version. And you'll see exactly what I mean later in the video. But anyways, we attack with Brick Break, dealing about just less than half, and the Leap fires back with Ancient Power. This deals huge super effective damage to Charmeleon, but he just barely hangs on. At this point, we have to just stay in with Charmeleon because if we switch him out and back in, he'll just fall to the Stealth Rocks damage. We're gonna go for some more chip damage here with Brick Break. We cannot let this thing set up stockpiles. Lilip's gonna consume the berry juice, and in this version, Lilip is dangerous. He can set up stockpiles and spam recover. Lilip's gonna finish off Charmeleon with Ancient Power, and if at any point he gets the Omni Boost, it's game over. Now, you might be saying, that was a misplay. Charmeleon should have went for Incinerate to burn up the berry juice. Well, Incinerate doesn't work for berry juice. It would have worked if Lilip was holding an Oran Berry instead, which it is in version 3.0. But here we go. We're going to send out Mind Food to save the day. Go for the Force Palm, and it's going to take Lilip down in one shot. So great retaliation by Mind Food, but we've got bigger problems to deal with as Brock sends out Lunatone. Now with Lunatone on the field, we want to get Mind Food out of there and switch into our Lunatone counter, Scraggy. We predict that Lunatone will go for Psybeam against Mind Food, so we want to switch him out into Scraggy, who will immune it due to being a Dark type. Now it might look like the obvious play here is to go for Feint Attack, being super effective, but Brock always switches Lunatone out against Scraggy. Now we don't know who he switches into, which is why we go for the low sweep, and regardless of how much damage we deal, we get the speed drop, which is what we were going for. We get the lucky crit as well. We take those. Now we're predicting an incoming aerial ace here from the Sandshrew, though we don't have anything that type resists it. Our Phanpy here has pretty high defense, so we switch in Phanpy to take the aerial ace like it's nothing. And because Phanpy is also a ground type, neither Sandshrew nor Phanpy will take Sandstorm damage. From here on, Phanpy can 1v1 the Sandshrew pretty good. We fire off the Ice Shard, dealing super effective damage, but it's not quite enough to take him out. Sandshrew fires back with Bulldoze. It is going to be stab boosted, but since Phanpy has insane defense, he takes it like a champ. Phanpy's speed drops from the Bulldoze, but it's not going to matter because we're going for the priority move Ice Shard anyway. Now it's going to be close. This could be a roll to kill. Brock decides to not make a switch out. We fire off the Ice Shard and take down the Sandshrew. I hope you guys are enjoying the battle so far. Remember to click the like button. It's good for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's totally free and helps out a ton. So that's 2 down. We've still got 4 Pokemon to go. It's going to be an uphill battle, but it's still possible to win. Now Brock sends Lunatone back in, and we're predicting an Icy Wind into Phanpy, so we want to switch into Slowpoke, who will type resist. However, we predict wrong, and Lunatone goes for the Psybeam instead, but that's perfectly fine because Slowpoke resists that as well. We're going to stay in with Slowpoke here, but Lunatone moves first. We are named Slowpoke after all, and Ancient Power is going to hit us hard. We restore a bit of health from the Oran Berry, though only 10 HP. Every little bit helps, and we fire back with the Water Pulse, dealing super effective damage, but it doesn't do very much at all. Now you might be thinking, instead of Water Pulse, it would have been better to go for a status move there, such as Thunder Wave or Yawn, but the thing is, Lunatone is holding a Lumberry, which would have rendered any status conditions ineffective, and it's pretty insane that Lunatone has a Lumberry this early in the game. Lumberry is an insane held item, and Lunatone's gonna finish off Slowpoke, and we send out Scraggy. Now there is some Yawn into Scraggy Unnerve plays that are possible here, but it's pretty hard to pull it off. Either way, predicting the switch out, we go for the low sweep into Cacnea, lowering its speed. Now Cacnea loves to go for Power Up Punch on his first turn, so we switch out of Scraggy into Lombre. We predict right, and Cacnea goes for the Power Up Punch, and this thing can get dangerous. If you let it set up too many Power Up Punches, this thing can get out of control. It's gonna put us just in range to activate the held item, and Lombre restores 10 HP from the Oran Berry. Now we try to take advantage of the speed drop and attack first with Aurora Beam, but Cacnea still manages to be faster, outspeed, and attack us with Bullet Seed. Cacnea, of course, is going to hit at least 3 Bullet Seeds, and that's enough to take down Lombre. Lombre not having the best defense, we were hoping to outspeed there, plus Cacnea having the attack boost from the power-up punch, we got hit hard with the Bullet Seed and we're not able to get an attack off. We send out Mind Fu and attack with Fake Out, just trying to deal as much chip damage as we possibly can. Also, Mind Fu coming back out with a bit of health restored thanks to the ability Regenerate. A pretty powerful ability and definitely useful to have, especially early game. Here we go, Mind Fu outspeeds and attacks with Force Palm, and it's enough to take down the Cacnea. And it's a good thing we moved first there too, because that Cacnea having the attack boost from the power-up punch could have hit us hard. But as Cacnea goes down, Lunatone comes back out to play. With Lunatone back out, we can predict a Psy Beam into the Mind Fu, so we switch into Scraggy, who will immune it thanks to being a Dark type. Lunatone goes for the Psy Beam, and we predict right. Now we try to read the Lunatone switch out as we go for the low sweep, but we predict wrong this time as Lunatone stays in against Scraggy for the first time and attacks us with Hidden Power. Scraggy restores a bit of health with the Oran Berry, and we're gonna fire off the low sweep anyway. It's not gonna deal as much as Feint Attack would have, but we get the lucky crit anyways. Lunatone's speed drops from the low kick, and now if we can just get it to stay in for one more turn, we can finish it off with a Feint Attack. But of course, Lunatone switches out just in time, and Archon will take the Feint Attack instead. As you can see, guys, the AI in this version of the Brock battle is pretty insane. It switches at the perfect time. It's unpredictable. Some of the Pokemon are higher levels. The Pokemon have better held items and better movesets. And this is just not the case for the newest version of this game, the 3.0 patch. But anyways, we're going to try to finish this battle strong here. And then after this, we will make the comparison and battle Brock again in the newest version of the game, the 3.0 patch. So after some time and consideration and weighing all my options, I conclude that this battle is basically over. We're just going to stay in with Scraggy and fall to the pluck. We're going to send Phanpy back out, and we have to get really lucky here. It's going to take a critical hit from an Ice Shard for us to turn this battle around. Phanpy attacks with Ice Shard. This is our only chance, but unfortunately, we don't get the crit that we needed and just fall short of the KO. To add insult to injury, Archon's going to restore basically all of the HP that we dealt with the Ice Shard back with Berry Juice and finishes off Phanpy with a pluck. We're down to our last Pokemon here. It's up to Mind Fu to make a comeback. We send him back out to save the day. In a last-ditch effort, we try to go for the Rock Tomb, but Archon outspeeds and one-shots Mind Fu with a pluck. So that's game over, and this is basically how this battle has been going for the past few days and many attempts of trying to defeat Brock in the 2.3 version of this game, but we have since updated to the 3.0 patch, and we are now going to compare the two versions and see how much easier Brock is now after the new patch. So here we go, and you can see the little Charmeleon following me, one of the neat new features of the 3.0 patch. There is some really cool stuff that they added with this new patch, but at the cost of the difficulty, is it really worth it? So here we go, Radical Red 3.0 Hardcore mode. We're using the same team, same settings, and everything. So we lead with Lombre just like last time, and Brock will also lead with his Hippopotas, but note that this time it is level 13. So same strategy as last time. We're gonna go straight for the Aurora Beam and hit him for huge super effective damage. Now Hippopotas is gonna consume the Berry Juice, but this is his only Pokemon that has a Berry Juice. Hippopotas turn 1 is gonna attack with the Rock Tomb, and you can see compared to the other battle, Hippopotas no longer sets up Stealth Rock. So we're just gonna continue to attack with Aurora Beam here, but thanks to the speed drop from the Rock Tomb on last last turn. Hippopotas is now faster and moves first to hit us with another rock tube, lowering our speed even more, but Lombre is going to consume the orange berry, restoring some health. It's our turn to attack now. Lombre fires off another Aurora Beam, and it's going to deal super effective damage, just enough to take down the Hippopotas. Now, as you can see already, Brock's first Pokemon is way easier to deal with. He didn't try to switch out. He no longer sets up hazards, and we were able to take him out in 2 shots. Now, Cacnea comes out next, and normally I'm afraid to keep Lombre in because Cacnea used to know Pin Missile, but not anymore in the new patch, and Cacnea is going to go for the Power-Up Punch instead. He gets the attack boost, and this is a little bit scary, but we're not too worried. Lombre fires off the Aurora Beam, dealing huge damage, just about over half. Now, Lombre did a great job. We got some decent damage off, so we're just going to let him fall to the Bullet Seed here. No fancy switch outs or strats required. Again, this Brock is 10 times easier than the old Brock. All we have to do is send out Charmeleon to finish the job. We go for Incinerate, but Cacnea actually moves first and hits us with a Thunder Punch. We fire back with the Incinerate. It's going to be super effective and enough to take down the Cacnea. Charmeleon is going to take some Sandstorm damage, just putting him into range to activate the held item and restores health from the Orange Berry. Charmeleon's hyped up and ready to go for whoever Brock sends out next, and Sandshrew enters the battlefield. And just as Charmeleon was getting ready to roll, we don't want to get hit with a Bulldoze into our fire type, so we switch him out for Phanpy, who takes it like a boss. Phanpy's speed is going to drop from the Bulldoze, but it's not going to matter because we go for the priority move, Ice Shard. Despite being super effective, it still doesn't deal very much damage, and Sandshrew fires back with the Bulldoze. Phanpy takes it like a boss, and despite being at lower health, this is a 1v1 that we can win. Phanpy fires off another Ice Shard, just chipping down Sandshrews health little by little. Sandshrew attacks again with Bulldoze, but it's not going to deal enough to take us out, and Phanpy is safe from the Sandstorm damage due to being a ground type. And this is checkmate for Sandshrew. We attack first with the priority move Ice Shard for the 3rd and final time, and it's enough to take it out. Now again, notice that Sandshrew did not switch out. It did not heal from using a held item, and this is very strange from a difficulty ROM hack. Usually when the opponent has a lot of Pokemon left, it is much more likely to switch out, but Sandshrew did not even attempt to. Now that Lunatone has entered the battlefield, we predict an incoming Psybeam and switch to Slowpoke to take it like a champ. Now that we've got Slowpoke on the field, we're going to go for the Yawn, but for the first time in this entire battle, Brock makes a switch and switches into Lileep. Lileep is going to now take the Yawn instead, and just wait for this, guys. This is pure gold. Now, knowing that the AI is stupid, we predict that Lileep is going to stay in for the Yawn and attack with Mega Drain, so we switch to Charmeleon to resist it. Charmeleon takes a bit of Sandstorm damage, and Lileep falls asleep. Now that it's asleep, we're free to start attacking here. We go for Brick Break, and it deals just about a 1/3 of its health and damage. Lileep is still fast asleep, and count it with me, guys. This is turn 1 of sleep. We're going to go ahead and keep attacking with Brick Break, just chipping down Lileep's health little by little. Lileep's held item is going to activate, which turns out to be an Orange Berry. This is a nerf from the berry juice that Lileep used to have. Lileep is also still asleep, and this will now be 2 sleep turns, and we do not want to lose track. We're going to keep attacking with Brick Break, hoping to finish it off. This could get dangerous if Lileep wakes up this turn, but what do you know? We just fall short of the KO, but Lileep is still asleep after 3 turns. I know that sleep was heavily nerfed for the player in the old version of Radical Red. 3 turns of sleep is unheard of in this game. There is no attempts to switch it out. Lileep just stayed in, was asleep for 3 turns, and got taken out by 4 Brick Breaks it took. That crap would have never flied in the old 2.3 version. Anyways, Lunatone comes back out to play, but we've got something in store for him. We attack first and go for Incinerate, burning up Lunatone's Lumberry. Lunatone does still have the Lumberry though, to be fair, which is pretty good, I guess. And Lunatone's gonna attack with Ancient Power, taking out Charmeleon. And now that we know Lunatone's Lumberry is burned up, we're gonna send in Slowpoke to try to get off a Thunder Wave. Lunatone attacks first with Ancient Power, dealing some significant damage, but we do manage to paralyze him. Now that Lunatone is paralyzed, Slowpoke has done his job. We're going to let him fall to the Ancient Power. That way we can get a clean switch into our Lunatone counter, Scraggy. Now, despite the pattern we observed of Lunatone liking to switch against Scraggy in the old version of this game, we predict that he stays in, but to our surprise, Brock actually makes a smart switch. Attempting to go for a finishing blow, Archon is going to take the Feint Attack in place of Lunatone. Lunatone. Now, we don't want Archon to pluck Scraggy's berry, so we're gonna switch to Mindfu, who will take super effective damage either way, but at least does not have a berry for Archon to steal. But of course, Archon goes for Wing Attack instead, and it looks like this Archon no longer knows the move pluck. Again, this new version of Brock's team just has worse move sets overall. Though we're actually not in a great position here. We're gonna go for Fake Out to try to get some chip damage, and this could potentially get dangerous. Mindfu is low on health, but the thing is we needed to save Scraggy for Lunatone. That's very important. Mindfu is gonna go down to the Sandstorm damage, but that's alright. It allows us to get a clean switch into Phanpy. And this is exactly what we needed Phanpy alive for. We go for the priority move Ice Shard. It's gonna be super effective, and despite Phanpy's low attack stat, it's enough to take down the Archon. And that's 5 down, 1 to go as Brock sends out his last and final Pokemon, Lunatone. At this point, it's pretty much checkmate. We go for Ice Shard to get off some last minute chip damage, but we've got Scraggy in the back. However, Lunatone could turn this whole thing around if he gets an Omni Boost from the Ancient Power, but no luck, and that's pretty much gonna seal the deal. Now it's down to the 1v1. We've got a paralyzed Lunatone versus his worst nightmare, Scraggy. And this is it. All we have to do is click Feint Attack. We outspeed and move first. It's super effective and enough to take down the Lunatone once and for all. Radical Red Hardcore mode 3.0, first attempt Brock, GG. And I'm not lying when I say I beat Brock first try when I updated the game to 3.0. So let's recap some of the changes made to the new version. The opponent's Pokemon are lower levels, they have less held items, the held items they have are worse held items, they have worse move sets, and the AI in general is just horrible. It makes bad switches or doesn't switch at all. In conclusion, I think some of the changes they made to the new version are really cool, but it's not worth it if it's at the expense of the difficulty of the ROM hack. Difficulty is the main feature that myself and I know many others primarily look for in a good Pokemon ROM hack. Hardcore mode should be hard, but by the looks of it, it seems like they made this game a lot easier in the new update. Leave a comment, guys. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this one, how you feel about Radical Red, how you feel about the new update. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know this video was a little bit different, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching and see you next time.